Paper 2, question 13. You're given a diagram with A and B. You're told A is the point -1, 2, B is the point 7, 5. Question A, find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. Now AB is the line connecting A to B. The midpoint of that is the point halfway between or in the middle of those 2 points on that line. Okay? Now, to highlight here the x coordinates first of all, that is just telling you that you are 1 to the left. This is telling you that you are 7 to the right. The x coordinate of this is going to be slap bang in the middle of a -1 and a 7. Which basically means you are finding halfway between -1 and 7, which you can do by calculating the mean of them. So if you add these together and divide by 2, that gives you the x coordinate for the midpoint. If you take the height of 2 and the height of 5, or the y coordinates 2 and 5, find halfway between those, which again, doing the average, the mean, add them together, divide by 2, that will give you the y coordinate of the midpoint. -1 plus 7 is 6, divided by 2 is 3, and 2 plus 5 is 7, all over 2 gives us 3.5. That is the coordinates of our midpoint. That's not part B. Yeah, it's part B. P is the point -4, 4, and Q is the point 1, -5. Find the gradient of PQ. Now, you don't need a picture for this, but just to give you an idea of what this looks like roughly, if I quickly draw a graph like that, -4, 4, let's just say it's there for P, and Q, 1 along and 5 down, something like that. Alright, not perfectly a scale, but we'll give you a general idea of what's going on here. To find the gradient of this line that's connecting them, graphically what you can do is create a right angled triangle and use the height and the width in calculating the gradient. Okay? But there's a formula that does all of that stuff for you. The gradient of a line is referred to as the difference in y coordinates, which in other words is the height, because if this has a y coordinate and this has a y coordinate, their heights, the difference between those heights gives you this h. So y2 minus y1, the difference of those will give you the length of this line here. The next part is x2 take away x1, which is if we have our x coordinate of that point and our x coordinate of this point, it will, if you subtract them from each other, it will give you that width. Now it's important to note, I've called this point x2, y2, and I've called this point x1, y1. When you select these, you have to make sure that the 2's are either first or last. It doesn't actually matter which one you pick as 2 and 1, as long as you're consistent with it. So really one of the coordinates of one of the points, its values will be first, the other one will be last. As long as you don't mix and match that, you'll be alright. So based on the picture I've done, I've called this x2, y2, and I've called this x1, y1. Let's sub in the values that you're given here. y2, based on what I've called p here, is a 4. And the y of the other coordinates is a -5. So that gives me that on the top of the fraction. The x's, the x for 2 is -4. And I'm going to be taking away a 1 there. Tidying that up, 4 minus -5 is the same as 4 plus 5, gives me a 9. -4 take away 1 gives me a -5. Okay. Now, I could leave it like that, as as 9 over -5, or I could write that as -9 over 5, or probably what's nicest would be negative, then the fraction 9 over 5. Or I could just decide to do that division and get the decimal, in this case, -1.8. That's your gradient of that line.